Hello, everyone. Welcome to Renewed Life Podcast. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. So, we are starting on a new series entitled Breaking the Silence. And today's episode, we're going to be touching on overcoming shame and fear of speaking out. This episode, we've dedicated it towards migrant and BAME survivors of abuse, violence, and exploitation. So, anyone who's ever felt afraid to speak out, ashamed of your experience, and you're silenced by intimidation, this episode is for you. Our theme today is Isaiah 61, verse 1. This particular verse reminds us that Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to those who are bound. Today, I want you to join me in this journey of breaking the silence. Stay tuned. When you've gone through a situation where you are deprived, oppressed, mistreated, abused, or violated, it leaves marks on you that people cannot always see. It leaves you feeling bruised, it leaves you feeling shattered, feeling broken, and in body, soul, and in your mind. And sometimes you even feel like there's no hope left. Many survivors end up feeling like life has no aim, like there's nothing to look forward to. Abuse creates a deep emotional and psychological wound that will try to silence you. Sometimes you can even, what abuse can do can also bring shame and fear. Shame about what happened to you, shame about allowing it, shame because of cultural pressure. Sometimes we have pressures that will pressure you into staying into that abusive relationship that you are in, and forcing you to stay and keep quiet and endure the abuse because of the sake of the kids, or because we don't want you to bring shame into our family because you walked out on your marriage. Sometimes because of that cultural pressure, there's shame that's upon you that makes you feel not want to speak out. There's shame because of the manipulation that you are experiencing from the perpetrator. One other thing that abuse can do, as I mentioned, is bring fear. Fear of not being believed, fear that people will judge you, fear of being alone. What perpetrators of abuse do is that they manipulate you and they find a way to isolate you from friends and family. And when they've isolated you, you feel that it is only them you have. So you are fearful to speak out because you feel that when you speak out, you have no one left because your friends and your family are gone. They have been kept away by the intimidation and manipulation by the perpetrator of abuse. But I want to let you know that you are never alone. As long as you decide to speak out, there's going to be someone who's going to support you, especially if you reach out to Renewed Life. If you contact us on our details, we are going to walk with you through the journey of coming out of that abusive situation that you find yourself in. There's also fear of losing your home. Sometimes you're afraid that if you are going to have to walk out of that environment, of that situation, one, you're going to lose your home and you're going to have to start afresh. But at Renewed Life, we give you support of finding a safe place. Or if you don't even want to leave the home, we work with lawyers that can help you to get a peace order that will help you to stay at the house and get the perpetrator to go and find somewhere else to live. As long as you have the proof or evidence of the abuse. There's also some people stay within an abusive situation because they're afraid they will lose their immigration status. There's also help and support that you can get for you to be able to come out of, if you no longer want to be with the person. But as I said, we don't encourage divorce. What we encourage you to do is to seek for professional help for your marriage. So sometimes you don't even have to come away from the spousal visa. But, or if you are thinking that he was the one that was supporting you financially and you won't have any financial assistance, there's always a way around that. There's always going to be support for you to be able to be catered for financially, and for you to be catered, for instance, if you no longer want to, or it's no longer safe for you to be, or the other party doesn't want to seek professional help to save the marriage. It's their own, it's their choices, or because you can't force to work on a relationship when the other party is not ready to seek for professional help. If they're not ready to seek for professional help, then obviously we'll help you to find the support to be able to get your own status, so you're not dependent on the perpetrator's immigration status. So sometimes people are fearful of speaking out because of such situations. But as I mentioned, you're not alone. There's always a way out, especially when God is involved in it. There's always a way out. Sometimes you're also fearful of the perpetrator themselves. Sometimes we may be married to people who are very dangerous. For instance, like the person is drug pusher, or the person is a pimp. They are forcing you into sex labor, and you're afraid to come out because these people can be dangerous. You're afraid to come out of that situation. As I said, there's always going to be support. There's the authorities that can protect you if you've decided you want to come out of this situation. We can contact the right authorities that will keep you secure. Coming out of this particular situation, as long as you decide you want to come out and you take that step forward of seeking help, there's always going to be help that will support you, that you'll find support to come out of that situation. So sometimes this situation can cause fear and can cause you to be silent and suffer the abuse in silence. Both of these things, both of fear and shame, can keep you stuck in a prison. One thing that Isaiah 61 verse 1 also mentions, the verse that I read at the start of this episode, is that Jesus was sent to heal the brokenhearted. That's what it tells us. It tells us that Jesus was sent to heal the brokenhearted. He was sent to bind up wounds. He was sent to proclaim freedom, to open prison doors. So this means that Jesus came specifically for people who feel trapped, who feel silenced, who feel oppressed, who feel ashamed or broken. So when you trust in him and ask for help, he will break that fear. He will break that intimidation. He will break the silence, and he will give you the courage to speak. I want you to remember something. Jesus sets the captives free. So whatever situation you are trapped in this moment, I want to let you know that Jesus can set you free from that situation as long as you trust in him. One other big issue that I want to talk about is self-blame. Self-blame. That's the biggest one that will cause people to be silent and not open up, because you are blaming yourself. You're listening to lies from the devil that you are the one that caused it. Maybe if you kept quiet, maybe if you cooked dinner the way he likes it, or maybe if you did things the way she likes it, maybe the way you dressed, it is my fault that I came into this abusive situation. Maybe the way I handled myself. You start blaming yourself. Self-blame is one of the greatest weapons that the enemy uses. It convinces you that you deserve the abuse that you've gone through. It convinces you to stay quiet because I'm the one who caused it. So why should I speak up and speak? People are going to judge me and tell me that I'm the one who caused it. Because of that, people keep quiet. People stay quiet and they endure the abuse that they're enduring. It convinces you that speaking out will make things worse. I mentioned earlier on, there's perpetrator isolate you from your relatives, they isolate you from your friends, they isolate you from community. And when they've done that, when you now want to speak out, when you are blaming yourself that you allowed yourself to enter into that relationship, you feel that you're going to make things worse for yourself. Instead of seeking help, you end up enduring the abuse quietly. Sometimes you may even think that if I speak up, people will judge me the same way that the perpetrator judges, because that's what they do. They will tell you that it is your fault I'm doing what I'm doing because you're not doing things right, because you are doing this. Sometimes it can cause you to blame yourself. So this mindset is exactly what the enemy wants. He wants to keep you silent. He wants to keep you isolated. He wants to keep you thinking that change is impossible, that this is your destiny, that this is the end of it. You're not going to be able to come out of this situation, but you will be able to come out of this situation. I remember when I was in that situation, there was one time I thought to myself that this was never going to end. But look, God has set me free from that situation. I sought help from God and I sought help from counsel, from my pastors who helped me to come out of that situation, because I decided to break the silence of suffering into that relationship that I was in. I decided to open up. I decided to talk to people around me, and they helped me and they took me out of that situation. Abuse is not only physical or emotional. It is also spiritual bondage. The enemy uses abuse as a strategy to break your confidence, to destroy your destiny, to silence your voice, and to disconnect you from God's purpose. It's something that the enemy uses to try and put you into captivity, to put you into a prison, that you feel that there's no purpose to life. But the truth of the word in Jeremiah 29, verse 11 says that, "For I know the thoughts I think toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." So God has a plan for your life, and those plans are good. They are not evil. So anything and everything that is happening, that is evil, that is bad in your life right now, God has not brought that into your life, but it is the devil that has brought it into your life. However, the word of God says that God works all things together for the good of those that love him. So today, you may be experiencing this pain from this abuse, but God will turn that pain around into purpose. I've seen him do that in my own life, and I know that if he's done that in my own life, he can do that in yours. So regardless of how painful the situation looks, regardless of how hopeless the situation looks, but as long as you surrender it to God, God will turn that situation for good, for his purpose and for his glory. He has a plan for you. Abuse does not change God's plan. Your past does not stop his purpose, and your trauma does not disqualify you for what God has for you, the future that he has for you. So I want to encourage you that God sees, God cares, and is right there by your side. He will turn everything for your good. I just want you to seek him out, seek for his help, ask him to help you, and you see him turn around the situation for your good. Now, as we are talking about spiritual bondage, one of the things that shame does is that it is a prison that the enemy uses to keep you bound. Abuse, violence, and exploitation, these experiences, they grip in shame and fear. And once they grip you, they silence you. What the enemy wants to do is to lie to you, says that no one will understand what you are going through. Even if you open up and speak out, no one is going to understand. The enemy lies to you and he says you should be embarrassed, but it is not your fault that you found yourself in this situation. It's not your fault. Sometimes situations happen, we are blindsided by situations, but God is merciful. Even though you've ended up in that situation, He can still bring you out of it. He is merciful enough that He can bring you out of that relationship. At this point, you just need to surrender your life to God, have that relationship with God, and He will help you to come out of that relationship. And once He does, He'll also help you so that you don't find yourself in the same situation once again, as long as that relationship with Him is existent and as long as you are obedient to His word. So I just want to let you know that shame is not from God. God's purpose of His word is not to condemn us, but is to convict us, is to help us to change our lives, is to help us to improve our lives. So nothing that the word of God tells us concerning such situation is to condemn us, but it is to help us to live lives that are free from such situations. You know, if we look in Isaiah 61 verse 7, it says, instead of your shame, you shall have double honor. Instead of the shame that you're going through right now from abuse, God will give you double honor. So God will replace that shame with honor. He will restore you and He will dignify you. But that's only if you have surrendered to Him. So I want to encourage you today, if you've not surrendered to the Lord, I want you to surrender to Him. And if you don't know how to do that, reach out to us. Our contact details are on the screen, and we will help you to surrender your life to Christ, to give your life to Christ, and give Him the situation, and we'll also help you to come out of that situation. And one other thing that abusers use in order to keep you silent from speaking up in regards to the abuse you're going through is intimidation. They cause intimidation, they cause fear, they cause anger, they cause manipulation and threats, just to control you. They know that if you speak out, you know, their power over you disappears. So they make you believe that you are nothing without them. They make you believe that no one will help you, and if you speak up you will suffer, you know, like I said earlier on, because they've isolated you. You have no friends, you have no relatives, and the only person you have is them. They bring you into that mindset or that belief that you are all alone if you speak up, because your relatives are no longer talking to you, your friends are no longer talking to you. So they make you believe that you only have them. If you leave or if you speak up, you are alone and you will suffer by yourself. That's what they make you believe. But all of those things are lies. They are lies that are meant to keep you in bondage. But God says in John 8 verse 32 that you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. So whenever you speak up the truth, Satan has a way of deceiving us that quiet. If we open up, then something is going to happen. He has a way of bringing shame and condemnation whenever you're going through a situation. It makes you feel that if you open up, if you speak out, no one is going to help you, or no one is going to believe you, or people are going to judge you in that situation. No one is going to help you. So when those lies are speaking up in your mind, it causes you to keep quiet. But one thing that I know is when you speak out the truth, the moment you speak up the truth, that's the moment you bring everything to light. And the Bible says when light shines in darkness, darkness cannot comprehend. So Satan and his ways to try and destroy you, to try and destroy your destiny, to try and destroy God's purpose for your life through this abuse, is to lie to you that you are condemned because of the situation you're going through, that you are judged, that no one is going to hear you, that no one is going to understand what you're going through. Everybody is going to laugh at you. Everybody is going to criticize you. And those lies that he keeps speaking to us, the moment that you silence them, the moment that you decide to renounce them, rebuke them, expose those lies by speaking out the truth, that's the moment that you are set free from that shame. That's the moment you are set free from that abuse. That's the moment you are set free from that manipulation. That's the moment you're set free from the bondage of fear. So I want to encourage you today, if you are in that situation and you feel that if you open up, you are going to be judged. If you open up, or sometimes, like I said, your culture is pressuring you to stay in that. As I mentioned earlier on, I also do not believe in divorce. We at Renewed Life don't believe in divorce. What we believe in is we believe in healthy relationships. So I want to encourage you to come out, reach out and seek out for help. That this is what I'm going through in my marriage. This is what I'm going through. Whatever situation it may be that's causing abuse today, I want you to speak out, because the moment you speak out, you will set yourself free. The truth always sets you free. And when you are free, you are able to fulfill God's purpose and plan for your life. And you'll find out that you'll find the necessary help that you need. If you are a married couple, you'll find the necessary help that you need to thrive as a couple, where there's no toxicity, where there's no abuse, where there's no violence. So at a moment, you may need to separate for a bit, for a while, just so that you work on yourself separately, and then you come back together, work together as a couple when both parties are healed from the issues that they are suffering from. So I encourage you to reach out to us today, and you will get the help. From fear of my, I just want to encourage you that freedom is there for you, unless you cry out and reach out to God to help you from the situation. You will stay in that situation. But I want you today to cry out to him and ask him to help you. He will help you to find the right support and the right help. If you decide, like I mentioned to you earlier on, just reach out to us and we will be able to give you the support that you need. So if you're listening right now and going through the abuse, any abuse of any kind, I want to encourage you to cry out to God. Ask him to set you free from fear and shame that silence you from speaking out. Ask him to give you the courage to speak out. And when you are ready to seek help, please contact us at Renewed Life. We will walk with you into safety. What you will receive from us as an organization is advocacy, support, pastoral counseling, emotional and practical help as needed. You do not have to suffer alone. Help is available. God sees you and God will strengthen you. So reach out to us. Our contact details are on the screen. So reach out to us. We are right here to help you. Well, it has been an amazing time journeying with you in 2025. So this is our last episode for the year, but we will be back in January 2026. Here at Renewed Life, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. If you are alone this Christmas, please reach out to us. You don't have to spend it alone. We have Christmas activities happening and we'll be happy to spend Christmas with you. Merry Christmas and God bless you. Take care. Goodbye.